The bettolina, an armed barge, is one of the most famous wrecks in the area of Sestri Levante. More precisely, it can be found between Punta di Sestri and Punta Manara. Originally, this barge was assigned for coastal shipping. Characterized by its flat keel and the open freight rooms, it was primarily used for short distances in the proximity of the coast. The first object we'll see during our wreck dive is a large wheel placed in the center of the hull. It was the basis of the rotary wreath for one of the 2 machine guns remaining on board up to just a few years ago. However, now they've mysteriously vanished. The left shelf wall suddenly breaks off and shows the hole that led to the sinking of the barge. We move to the bow and immediately our attention falls on an uncommon part of the freight, carefully stowed bags of cement. These, after a long time in seawater, have developed the consistency of stone. The explosion destroyed the complete hull at this point. The edges of the shelf wall confirmed the violence of the explosion. At the small and rounded bow, we can find capstans for the mooring of the barge, rolled up steel cables, and a construction to protect the crew on the way down to the lower decks of the barge. No chains or anchors are fitted in the hawse hole or anchor housing, but the short and stumpy profile confirms the character of a slow but strong hull. Let's continue our exploration of the wreck, moving ourselves again to the middle of the ship. We enter into the long freight room that occupies a large part of the hull. We follow it until we find a ladder leading us to the upper deck. A small area attracts our attention, probably the kitchen or galley. In fact, actually we can see an oven and a pot. Now we are in the proximity of the stern. This will be confirmed by the skylight of the machine room and the few parts of the remaining structure of the control room. We can see also the structure of the second machine gun above the control room. Now we're visiting the inside of the control room. The passages don't represent any difficulty. The spaces are wide and the effects of the light from above cut into the existing shadow zones. Here we can find the lodgings of the crew, and the entire area can be visited very easily. The internal zone of the stern area, with a minor exposition to the sunlight, is richly colonized by jewel anemones, or Coronactis viridis. The completely open polyps stretch out their tentacles trying to grab some food. They are predominantly carnivores and satisfy themselves with plankton. We dive down until reaching the maximum depth, and, well protected, below the stern we can find the rudder and the propeller. Above we can see an anchor in its original position and the proper winch. The hull is populated on both sides with different sponge types competing for their place, but it's sometimes possible to meet the long and flexible pipes of the withery tuft tube worm, or Sabella spallanzani with its tuft dancing freely in the current. Turning back on the upper deck, we go directly to the middle of the ship where we find the rope that conducts us to the surface.